Hi, I'm Mark Cockard.
Hi, I'm Jailina Ponte.
Bishop Nestout has given us permission to once again gather together for Mass. We approach this opportunity with great joy to gather together for the Eucharist, but also with great concern, because the COVID-19 virus is not gone. It's very much still with us, and we want to make sure that when we gather together, that it's as safe an environment as possible. So we hope that you'll take the time to watch this video and consider what will Mass look like in this COVID-19 era. I can tell you right now, it will be a Mass like you've never attended before. And make sure that you watch this carefully to know what to expect. Just as a reminder, Bishop Nestout has dispensed all Catholics in the Diocese of Richmond from the obligation to attend Sunday Mass. Don't feel like you need to come to Sunday Mass. It's not a sin to miss Sunday Mass in this era of COVID-19. If you go to our parish website, piusxparish.org, you'll find several resources which will help you decide whether or not you should come to Mass. All three of our Sunday Masses and all of our daily Masses are all live streamed. Click on the Holy Mass button, and you'll find that you can participate in Mass at home at whatever time you prefer by using the live stream video. You'll also see below the video that there are links to the Mass program, the order of Mass, and any prayers that you might need, as well as the weekly bulletin. If you'd prefer, you can click on the Facebook icon on that page and participate via Facebook. You'll find that a little more interactive in that you can make comments and see the comments of other people that are participating. If you decide that you're ready to come to church for Mass, you'll need to go back to the home page and register for Mass. We're asking everyone that is planning on attending in person to register for Mass so that we can plan accordingly. Click on that button and it'll take you to a pretty straightforward form where you indicate which Mass you will be attending on a particular weekend. You can actually register for the entire month, but you need to click on each particular weekend. And please only register for one Mass per weekend. When you register for all three Masses and then decide that you're going to come to one of those three Masses, it actually takes up a space that another person could register for. So indicate which Mass you will be attending, and please attend that Mass because that's the only Mass that your name will be on. And then, before you come to Mass, ask yourself these three questions. Do you or anyone in your household have a new cough or new shortness of breath? In the past 2 weeks, have you or anyone in your household had a fever? In the past 2 weeks, have you been exposed, less than 6 feet for greater than 15 minutes, to anyone who has tested positive for COVID-19 without wearing the appropriate personal protective equipment as defined by the Centers for Disease Control and Prevention? If you respond yes to any of these questions, please stay home. Give yourself plenty of time to arrive at church. We're asking that you arrive at least an hour to a half hour before Mass. I know, right? But there's a lot of things to be done when you arrive as far as checking you in and procedures as you'll see in just a moment. So please arrive early. If you arrive less than a half hour before Mass and you have registered for Mass, your place will be given up, and we may allow somebody such as a visitor who doesn't know about our procedures to come in. So please arrive early for Mass. Once you get to the parking lot, park your car. You might even want to consider socially distancing your cars, because your temptation, especially if you haven't been in a while, will be to want to hug and kiss and greet everybody in the parking lot. And you need to make sure that you stay distant from one another as soon as you arrive on the church property. And before you get out of your car, make sure that you put on your mask. Your mask needs to cover your nose and your mouth, and you need to wear this the entire time that you are in the church. If you have difficulty wearing a mask, you probably should not come to church, because we will not allow you into the church if you are not wearing a mask. As you approach the church, you'll notice that some things are different. We'll have the stairs blocked off with cones to indicate that you should not enter there. There's only one entrance, one way that you can get into the church. You'll also notice social distancing markers on the sidewalk to remind you to keep at least 6 feet distance from the people around you. And the only way that we're asking you to enter the church is to come up by the bell tower and walk up the handicapped ramp. As you approach, you'll see a poster that has the 3 questions that I talked about earlier. And we're not going to actually ask you those questions, but we're presuming if you are entering the building that you are answering no to all 3 of these questions. You have one more question to be asked.
Can I have your name and phone number?
Now, the reason that she's asking for this is the diocese is requiring us to keep a list of who attends the Mass. The idea is if we find that somebody has contracted COVID-19, we need to be able to contact all the people that were at that Mass. So we will need this information before you come into the church. And as you come into the church, we will count you and the number of people in your family. So this is where we will keep a count of how many people are entering the building.
When you come to church for Mass, you will notice that there will be markings on our pews. There will be yellow markings, and you will also see lavender markings. All the way to the back, that section will be reserved for couples. The purple section, or lavender section, is reserved for our families. 2 families can sit in 1 pew, or if you're a very large family, you will have a pew to yourself. Notice that the pews are getting skipped for safety and health reasons, to keep you safe while you're here at Mass. On the yellow section, this is set for individuals with the social distancing in between each person. So 3 to a pew. Also, skipping a pew in between.
One of the things that you'll notice is that we will be escorting you to your pews. So if you have a favorite pew, you're going to have to give that up during this time, so that we can get people seated quickly and also maintain social distancing. You'll notice as we seat people that there are markings on the pews with an X. That is the pew that Jailene was talking about, that will be in between each of the rows that are occupied, again, to maintain social distancing. And also, the pews will be roped off, and we will take up a rope each time we seat people, so that you're not tempted to go into another pew. So please, it's very important that you make sure that you follow the instructions of the ushers, the greeters, so that we can fill up the church from the front to the back, again, to avoid people running into each other and being in close proximity to each other, and also so that we can get as many people into the church as efficiently as possible.
Once you have given your name and phone number, you will walk through the open doors only. Any doors that are closed are remaining closed for your safety. You will walk to the usher and greet your usher, who will sit you to your pew.
Hi, welcome. Would you follow me to your place, please?
You will follow the usher at a good distance. Who will then?
You'll be seated in this pew right here, and you'll notice that there's a space in the center. Please don't go any farther than that line.
Thank you so much, sir. This is the pew that you will remain at through the whole Mass. You will not be guaranteed your favorite pew, But any part of the church is a good spot when Jesus is in the building.
As an aside, you'll notice that the hymnals and any other literature have been removed from the pews and stored. We are not allowed to pass out any kind of printed material, obviously to avoid passing things from one to the other. The other thing is that research has shown that the COVID-19 virus is spread much more easily through singing or loud speaking. And so we actually won't be providing you with any music to sing along, because we're asking you to consider having the cantor sing for you and kind of internally sing the music in your heart, again, to provide safety for your fellow parishioners who are there. As you approach the communion station, you'll notice that there is a sneeze guard to protect both you and the person giving out communion. And Jailene is going to demonstrate for us how to receive communion in the hand. Bishop Nestout is asking everyone to really consider taking communion in the hand. It's much more safe for everybody. So as you approach the communion station, you're going to, this is just a reminder for people that receive communion in the hand already, but for those who don't, a little demonstration. St. Cyril of Jerusalem, when he wrote in the 4th century, said, "Make your hands a throne for the King of Kings." So you want to do just like Jailene is doing and take your dominant hand. So if you're left-handed, that would be your left hand, or your right hand, whichever one you eat with, and put that underneath, and the other one rest on top of that. And you want to try and make your fingers as flat as possible to make it easy for Father to give you communion without touching your hand. And so you come up and you put your hand under the sneeze guard, and he will say the body of Christ, and as usual you respond.
Amen.
And then he will place the host in your hand, and then, but you don't eat communion at that point, because you still have your mask on. So you're going to go to one of the spots to your left or your right, depending on the communion station. You stop at that spot so that you're nice and safe from everybody. You're going to lower your mask. You take the host and consume it. And then you lift your mask back up and return to your place. Another thing that we ask, that we hope is part of your regular practice anyway, is once you have received communion, to return to your place. If it's your practice to leave during the communion after you've taken communion, we ask again that you return to your place, because there will be many people receiving communion and we don't want people passing through one another. At the end of Mass, everyone will be dismissed in an orderly fashion. We'll begin with the last rose, and so you're singing the closing song, and the usher will come up and say, you're welcome to leave now. Would you follow me, please? The bishop has asked that there be one entrance and one exit. So the way you came in will not be the way you leave. You should not use any of the other exits, but again, follow the direction of the ushers, and we'll go out this exit. And back to your car. Remember that there are other people waiting for you to leave so that they can leave as well. So please don't congregate in front of the doors. Make sure that you go directly to your car. And again, remember, even in the parking lot, to maintain proper distancing. Thank you for watching this video. We hope it's been helpful in coming to an understanding of what to expect when you come to Mass this Sunday, if you decide to do so. Just as a reminder, Bishop Nestout has dispensed all Catholics in the Diocese of Richmond from the obligation to attend Mass for the foreseeable future. So if you feel the least bit uncomfortable attending Mass, or especially if you're in a risk category, we invite you to stay home and participate in Mass via the live stream Mass that will be live streamed from our Facebook page as well as our parish website. So, God bless you and keep you, and we look forward to seeing you sometime in the future. And in the meantime, stay safe. Thank you.
Taste and see the goodness of the Lord, the good.